Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Gate 7 International. I'm your host, Labros. It's so great to be back with all of you on this Sunday evening, Saturday evening, everyone. We just finished watching, I should say, an hour and a half ago. We finished watching Olympiacos with Panathinaikos, the derby of eternal enemies, just finished in Piraeus, and the final score was 0-0, a very exciting 0-0, let's say. Olympiacos was quite dominant, had strong chances, had a goal disallowed that we'll talk about. And yeah, the team, however, fails to win another derby and remains 5 points behind league leaders Panathinaikos. So, welcome everyone. Those of you coming in from the live, welcome to all our new listeners. Remember to like and subscribe if you're new here, and welcome to Gate 7 International. Before continuing on, I'll do a few introductory things for us. If you're a gambler, make sure to use our code GATE7INTL at betus.com.pa. You can get 125% back on your first deposit when using our discount code, and they have great odds that I know our hosts like to use. Moreover, if you are in the shipping business or looking to ship packages, ship freight anywhere in the world, make sure to ship with our trusty shipping partner, Piraeus International. You can find more details on their work at piraeusintl.com. So on that note, everyone, I'm going to welcome in my good friend, Adi, and co-host, and we're going to talk a bit about the game today. Adi, welcome. First thoughts on Panathinaikos Olympiakos this evening.
Well, I don't know about you, and I don't know if this was the case for a lot of other people, but obviously the streams that we had were not the most reliable today. And I swear, every time the stream would freeze and get back to the game, another Panathinaikos player was on the ground, rolling around. It was amazing. It was like I don't think I've witnessed so much time on the ground by a single team. It's incredible. I saw a lot of chatter, a lot of people trashing Sergi Canos, and I understand. I'm just as frustrated about all the opportunities he missed, and not just him. There were a lot of opportunities missed, but I think that there were worse players on the pitch. One, at the very least, one. I think we'll get into all of that. The game plan, I will say, kind of puzzled me, but we did well with it. Like, we were in the game a lot. We were pressing. I was really impressed in the first half that we didn't just sit back in the first 15, 20 minutes like we normally do. The tempo was up. We were getting bodies forward. The line was high. That was really cool. We approached the derby not like scared little kids, which is something I enjoyed. So we can say that. The thing I didn't like was how narrow the attack was. And early on in the game, if you guys tuned into the live commentary by Costa and Costa, Costa C commented on this, how narrow we were in the buildup, because Biel was on the right and Canos was on the left. And Canos, I think, did a pretty good job at the very least trying to stay wide, but Pep Biel kept coming in. Pep Biel just had a horrible game. I mean, he was falling all over the place, couldn't really dribble, couldn't take anybody on. I wasn't surprised to see Oleg start. I know everybody was saying Ramon, but I knew that we were going to see Oleg. Like, there was just no way we were going to throw Ramon in. And I don't know about you guys, I feel like Ramon saw more of the ball in his little time on the pitch than Oleg saw for the entire thing. I know we don't normally talk about referees on this show, Lambro, but there was some really astonishing decisions by the referee today. The really big one for me, and I know people are going to want to talk about the offsides, but the big thing for me was Mancini looking Valbuena dead in the eye and straight up trying to smack him. Now, it looked to me, I didn't see many replays on it. I just saw the zoomed out. It looked like he hit Valbuena and he slapped him. That is unacceptable. I don't get how that wasn't a card. Unbelievable, disgusting, awful officiating. But I don't want to spend all of our time talking about the officiating, because there were some issues. The reason why we lost today was not the officiate, or lost. The reason why it feels like a loss. The reason why
we're so used to losing derby, so
The reason why we didn't win today wasn't the ref. The ref didn't help the situation. I'm not gonna lie there. But there were other issues on the pitch today. But those are just my first thoughts, kind of thinking.
Yeah.
About
I'm going to echo your statement about the streams. Like the rest of you out there, there is no legal way to watch Olympiacos essentially play outside of Greece unless you can figure out the confusing Cosmote system, which requires an address in Greece, a Greek phone number sometimes, and stupid shit. So, unfortunately, like everyone else, we're stuck here with the streams, and it was very difficult to find ways to watch the game, and a lot of it was very choppy, going back and forth, new stream, dead stream, whatever. Um, it was a tough night for that. So yeah, I want to be honest. Like I missed moments of the match. Had to listen to the radio. Had to listen to our friend Costa Levoyanis and Costa with the K Costas Lianos. I hope some of you enjoyed listening to them commentate on the game. I know I did, but it was difficult to follow the game. So I wish I could rewatch it, which I think I'll be able to do. There's a site that allows you to do that. But my initial thoughts, I guess I'll go back to the way things started. Olympiacos lined up in this 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 formation, whatever we want to call it, with Pascalakis in goal, no surprise, Rodinei, Socrates, Ba, and Oleg. So the only surprise there, I would say, or not surprise, but was the Oleg decision, whether it was Oleg or Ramon, and Michel went for the experience and he went for Oleg. And in the midfield, you go. And one thing I should note, Olympiacos didn't release a squad list going into the game today. It's something that they almost always do. So it was kind of red flags blinking, red alert, what's going on? Why is there no squad list? So we start to see the reason why when we move into the midfield. We see Jan Envia, Mbom Huang, Kostas Fortunis, Pep Biel, and Sergi Canos with Cedric Bakambu leading the line. Of course, one name missing there is James Rodriguez. Supposedly he was in quite a bit of pain and wasn't able to finish training yesterday and tried to give it a go or something this morning, but was in a lot of pain. So he did not play. And right away, I was worried about this lineup with Fortunis and Biel and Canos leading the line. I wondered why we didn't go for a more traditional approach and just put either Biel or Fortunis and then put another winger. But okay, that's fine. I would say Panathinaikos had a decent amount of possession in the first half. They were playing well, or I wouldn't say playing well, but holding the ball a bit more than what we saw in the second half. But Olympiacos was having the chances. Of course, Bakambu from a difficult angle hits the post. And Olympiacos looked all right. They were holding their own. Defensively seemed pretty solid. It was a pretty scrappy match, I would say. Like Adi said,
As expected. As expected. They're always like
massive
this.
derby. And I should also say, before the match, the game was sold out. And I don't know about you, Adi, but this was like proper pre-COVID, shoulder to shoulder, fucking sold out Greek derby. Like,
Yep.
I don't think, like looking back at the other derbies, I don't think every single section in the stadium was like filled. There was not an empty seat in the whole stadium. And I've talked about this with other people about there's been other games that have quote unquote sold out, but they even opened the away section a bit, like off to the side in the corner of the stadium, which usually doesn't get opened. And that's when it's like it was up for it. And the tifo produced by Gate 7 was incredible. It's saying we rule this land with a beautiful picture of the Parthenon, and then you have the banner drop. It's a double tifo. Banner drops. We rule this land, and a map of Greece. Very incredible. Probably took hours of work, and congratulations to them on producing such an incredible atmosphere, an atmosphere that's going viral all across social media.
Our video. It's the video that Costa
our video
took.
Costa took a video, and it's going viral, posted by ESPN and I think Men in Blazers.
Men in Blazers, huge account. Yeah.
Oh. And so we're really proud that we got to kind of help push the amazing work done by the fans tonight. And it was just an incredible atmosphere. Like I would say I have followed Olympiacos a long time, and it reminded me of like pre-COVID atmosphere. Like I've like I know people are going to say we've had sold out games, we've had European games since COVID, like whatever, but tonight was different sauce. Like I haven't seen the fans so up for a derby and up for a game in just so long. It was fantastic from start to finish. and you could really sense that and see it on the players. The first 10, 15 minutes, we really took it to them. And yeah, well, we we can talk more about it, but we have someone who I think was in the stadium. If they're ready to go, if they give me the thumbs up, I'll let them in, and he can tell us about the atmosphere. Costa, you've been to the stadium during pre-COVID times, during COVID times. This has to be one of the best atmospheres we've seen in a long time. Welcome.
Yeah, what's happening, guys?
That
I just
voice,
got home.
man.
Yeah, that voice. You know it's a proper. You get to? Did you get the free waters at the back though? They're really icy cold. They're good.
Do you know what? I thought about it before going into the game, and I took my own water bottle, but I didn't even touch it. To be honest with you, throughout the entire game, but it was lit, man. Like you could feel the atmosphere. Walking out of the tram, I got off at the Karaiskaki stop. And just even walking across to where the train station is before you see the stadium and walking up the stairs, you could hear the chants and the atmosphere and people just feeding off of it outside. And I mean, massive game to go into, right? You want the win so badly to give confidence to the team to have, that extra kind of hope and belief for the team to go into the playoffs and give it everything they've got. And yeah, man, the atmosphere was great. Like going into the game, warm up, packed stadium, fantastic feeling. And then, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it took a couple of moments in the second half. There was like a 10 or 15 minute spell where we were, pressing them quite intently. We created some chances and we were moving the ball around and, you felt the Karaiskaki get behind the team. I think Canos won a corner at some point, and he kind of, went like that to the crowd, and you felt that, that magic of the Karaiskaki. But we talked to some English journalists that were there. The guy was like, never seen anything like that before, and I told him, you should see it when we're actually playing well. Like when the team's playing well and the whole stadium's going mad, getting behind them.
It's bouncing, yeah.
Mate, the goal was insane. Like it was, I described it on live commentary. It was like a volcano erupted.
Michel even lost it too. You saw like Michel was like ready to jump into the stands. It was so much emotion.
In the press box, there were journalists jumping up on the tables. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was mental. Some of the journalists were jumping up on the tables like it's a 90th minute winner, and then all of a sudden it's like we didn't have monitors in front of us. The guys
really?
behind us.
Most of the press ones when I was there, they had the monitor usually, and you could watch the replay or whatever. But you didn't.
So we were in row B, like row A and row B don't have monitors, and the guys, like I was saying to the guys behind, was like, "What's happened?" Like I don't know what happened, mate. Like I talked to a couple of people, and somebody explained to me afterwards that the cross has come in and El Arabi's tried to make contact. But okay, I don't even want to talk about that. Like,
yeah.
But the atmosphere, it was madness, mate. And then that what happened after the goal. Like Marinakis came down from his suite. He was down on the touchline. I wasn't sure if he was telling the team to get off. We didn't know what was happening. Everybody was just looking around in disbelief, like what's just happened. Nobody understood. Like nobody understood what happened
because the referee was super like slow on it. Like he raised his hand, but then he pointed like almost to like, and you could hear it in the stadium. It was like, is it a goal? Is it not a goal? Is it offside? Yeah. Like he didn't do the VAR check, whistle, runs over, gives offside. He was standing there like at the touchline, like whatever. He raised his hand, but then he pointed at the center, and you're like, okay, was it offside? Yeah. I can see like from being in the stadium, and it was probably like very unclear. So,
oh no, we had no idea what happened. Like it all happened so fast as well. Like I couldn't even remember that the ball had come in from I think a Juan cross, and like El Arabi hasn't made contact.
It was Socrates kind of cleared the ball almost like a scissor kick type thing. and El Arabi goes for the ball but misses, but he's about like half a foot offside, I would say, and I guess he impacts the defenders. Like if the idea, I guess, is if he wasn't there, the defender would have cleared the ball easier. I think that's the argument, and yeah, I honestly I haven't seen it back too many times as well because the fucking streams were impossible to watch tonight. So I still need to watch. I told everyone at the start I want to rewatch the whole game because I feel like I didn't really get a full sense of it with the streams tonight. So
yeah, and we can touch more. We can touch more on that later. Costa, I really like what your opinion. I was listening to you guys live for like the first 20 minutes. But then, of course, I usually have the games with no sound, especially as I'm doing things. But Mike, I had a question for you. Mancini straight up, did he make contact and slap Valbuena? Because it looked like to me he was like almost punched him in the face.
He clearly like looked. So it was a challenge, like a duel, yeah. And
because Valbuena kind of hits into him in first, but then
So Valbuena's getting into a position and he's like this, and he's like, it's really impressive actually. He's so small, but like he gets himself into a good position and he uses his body. And I think he's won the duel. Yeah. And then Mancini kind of clearly turns around and goes like that. And he looks at him, and there's venom in his look when he does that. But Valbuena hasn't gone over. He hasn't made a meal out of it. But it's so clear, like the referee's 5-8 meters away.
And
he saw it. He ran over there, and I was like, he's bringing a card out, right? Because the guy just tried to slap Valbuena, and then nothing.
Yeah, it was the challenge on Fortunis. I don't know if you looked back from the defender, Charlia.
Yeah,
he looks at Fortunis. And he gives him an elbow right in the face. Like, it was a brutal tackle. And I thought it was, like, I'm not calling it to be a red card, but it was like a clear yellow. He elbows him in the face, nowhere near the ball.
It could, like, Costa was calling for a red card. I mean,
it was bad. It was a hard challenge. Like,
the thing is, right, like, in the first 20 minutes, I think the first yellow card came out was Brignoli, even, or for time wasting. I can't remember, but like you saw in the first 20-25 minutes, there were some quite like tasty challenges. Yeah, there were some tasty challenges in the first half, and he wasn't taking his card out of the pocket. And then all of a sudden, like there were one or two where you were like, "That's borderline," or okay. And then the cards started to come out a bit easier. But then there were those challenges, like the one you're mentioning on Fortunis, or the one on Valbuena. He's given nothing. And just like, if anything, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent. Brignoli should have got sent off, man. Like the time wasting. We said it during the commentary. It was shameful. Like they set up. I mean, they clearly set up to just frustrate us. So fair enough. They're top of the league. They're top of the league, and they don't.
They just wanted the draw.
Just don't lose. Yeah. Don't lose. And all the subs that they made was just to shore up shop. And we can talk about Mitchell as well, because like for me, there are things from this game that are clear, like the left back position. Never again. Yeah. Never again. Never again, Oleg Grabchuk. Never again. Ramon had more touches on the ball. In 20-25 minutes, he played more forward part. I swear to God. I said it during the commentary. Oleg Grabchuk was like a ghost.
Yeah.
It was like I brought it up earlier too. Yeah.
It was another bad night for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, Costa, this Pep BL, the tens thing. I mean, we can't keep doing this, man. There was a comment, somebody had asked a question up here, and I think this is a good time that we address it. From Aris Galamatis. He said, I have a question for Adi. Assuming James leaves, how can we fit Fortunis with BL on the 11? Is it better just to have one and one be the sub of the other? I mean, we can't keep seeing this, like BL on the side. I mean, aside from the fact that he was out of position, he was just bad today. Just tripping all over himself. Can't go past anybody. Can't create anything. I mean, that was just bad. Costa was drifting. There were a lot of people complaining about Costa's Fortunis I saw before we were going live. I thought he played a lot of balls in. I mean, he had 4 balls I can count just thinking about it now that led directly to shots. So if he created something, but I think there's a point here. Like this is, I don't know. I know that they're our best players, but I don't know if we can keep. I don't know if we can keep forcing the issue. Like, what's going on with Batutsi here? Is he that bad? Is he that disinterested?
Was he even in the squad list?
No.
I didn't.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I was talking to Peter because I'm here in Canada visiting him about Baducci, and he had like that 30-minute run against Ike and didn't do good, and they're just like, he's finished. Like, is that it, or does he have problems? I'm really interested to. Nothing.
I don't think that he wasn't even. We didn't see him.
Like he wasn't even at the stadium, maybe.
Like we hung out outside the like where is it the mix
Players
zone until about 30-40 minutes ago.
Yeah, the players usually all leave out of that area. So if he's not there, like even the ones who don't dress leave through there. So if he didn't walk through there, he wasn't at the stadium for me probably, or he was maybe in a VIP suite.
Maybe
but usually
the
players who usually don't play sit right behind the bench of Olympiacos because they go into the locker room at halftime and full time and things. But I saw James was in the VIP, so
like we saw Retsos come out of the mix zone.
So who knows? I don't know. Shall we talk about Sergicanos tonight a bit? What did you guys make of him? Costa with a K. I should also welcome you to the show. Awesome job doing the live commentary for you both. What did you think of Sergicanos tonight, Costa? Oh, you're on mute.
You're muted.
That old chestnut.
Sorry, guys. I was just watching some highlights. I was actually watching that goal moment. First of all, if I'm not on Lubin by the end of this week, I'm going to be the happiest man on the planet. So by the end of next week, actually. So, yeah, I mean, guys, I have to say this is the best Olympiacos I've seen in a derby all season. This has been really heartbreaking because this team totally deserved the victory. They really deserved it. There were some players that were off, like Pepe, like you correctly mentioned. But then you got Sergicanos, who, he did have an off game. That was the feeling around the stadium. He missed two huge opportunities, especially the first one, the first half, when he only had Brignoli in front of him, and somehow he missed that chance, that sitter. But obviously, he does. It's obvious he's a good player. It's obvious that he can help. There's passion. The fact alone that he won a corner and he did this to the Gate 7 and the Ultras to get on their feet in the second half. I mean, just because one player had a bad game in this game doesn't make him a bad player. And just because one player had a good game doesn't make him a good player. Guys, Ousseynou Ba, how awesome was he tonight?
Yeah.
When Ousseynou Ba started, I thought to myself, so that's how Olympiacos are getting a red card tonight. Because all Panathinaikos opponents get a red card. Oh, and Olympiacos got one as well. And I was like, that's how Olympiacos are gonna get a red card. But he was so good, so composed. His marking, his passing, his positioning, his clearances. Ousseynou Ba, 2019-2020 season. So, Sergicanos was not good tonight. So was Pepiel. He was disappointing, but he was off position again. He's not a winger, God damn it. He's not a winger. But just because those two had a bad game doesn't make them bad players. And just because Ousseynou Ba had an awesome game tonight doesn't mean that, okay, this is it. Ousseynou Ba is going to be the starter from now on. That's not how it works. So, Canos and Biel had a bad game. I still believe in them. I still back them. Ousseynou Ba had an amazing game, and I cannot wait to see how he capitalizes on this.
Costa, I have a stat for you here, buddy. You were bringing up Oleg touches versus Ramon touches. So 81 minutes, Oleg touched the ball 42 times, and he completed 17 passes. In 9 minutes, Ramon had 14 touches, completed 6 passes.
He was much more positive, man. I wonder how many of those passes were progressive passes, like from Oleg. Honestly, he looked.
I can tell you tomorrow.
for me, it was night and day. Like there was nothing. There was nothing coming down that left-hand side. And do you know what? Like from a tactical point of view, I was saying this during the commentary, and this takes us back to the BL thing. He plays so narrow, like when he's out on that right-hand side, because he wants to get into that space where he likes to play. And then there's nothing on the right-hand side. And Rodinei and Oleg were, to me, it seemed like they had instructions in the first half not to bomb forward too much. Like Oleg was not doing anything. I don't even mean to be mean. Like, but Rodinei as well, he wasn't getting forward as much as we're used to. They were much more conservative on the right-hand side. And there was just no width. Like what did we create in the first half? There was that chance where Fortunis put Bakambu through after a steal. But otherwise, the first half, you try and think, what did we do? I think Biel had a shot with his right foot. That all the shots on the first half, they were straight at the keeper. And Biel had one. Bakambu hit the post.
Didn't Canos have one that almost looked like a goal, but it actually was wide? That was the first.
But
half,
it was
right?
called offside. The one that was called offside.
No. He had one where like it looked like a goal, but I thought it was a little too wide. That's how it looked to me, at least. It was the first.
Canos had a nice chance that was saved. That the curler that he had in the second half. That's the one that I really remember, and then the other one that was offside, and he was.
Or maybe it was offsides then.
He was in the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
And he's right in front of goal, and you just think he's gonna slot it into the side of the net, and I think he's missed it completely. He's missed the target, and then the linesman's put his flag up. But like for me, Sergi, it's not a good game. It's not a good game tonight. Like you saw, like the passion, like interception, stealing the ball, playing aggressive.
The runs too. The runs.
Yeah,
he had great runs.
Yeah. No, like I appreciate all of that, and he doesn't hide. Like he doesn't hide from the ball, and he gets involved. But those, like his finishing today,
really bad.
You've got to hit, like you've got to make the keeper work at least. And he's scuffed, like I think we look at the stats tomorrow when it populates. I think he's had like 3 shots on target, and then probably 2 wide.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the curler, but Brignoli's really launched himself to keep that one out. But we didn't have a good angle, so I can't see like where he's actually placed it. But yeah, not a good game from him. And yeah, guys, like just being in the stadium for the first time this year and watching the team, the shape, like the body language, all of that. Like there were moments like when Socrates got sent off, which by the way, I think in the end was harsh. Like we saw him outside giving an interview, and he was saying like the ball's hit his chest and it's hit his arm, which is down, so that it's his what's it called, his standing arm or whatever, supporting arm, and he's given the yellow, and like you just saw like I think Juan and another player, they've gone up to him and it's like, you need to get off.
Yeah.
Like, and Socrates was losing his shit. But
yeah, that wasn't very captain-like, was it? That moment.
I mean,
but also it's like, God, he didn't give yellows for some shit, and then you're like, ugh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean about consistency.
Like, I can see the argument for it being a first yellow, but the second, like they say there should be no difference, but it's just like you cannot send a second yellow. I don't know. In that moment, it just seemed a bit harsh, but I don't know.
Guys, can I ask? Sorry to interrupt, but did you guys read the announcement from Olympiacos, the statement?
I did.
Did something? I haven't.
Oh,
you haven't mentioned it on the show. You haven't mentioned it on the show.
We haven't mentioned.
No, we haven't.
Okay,
no.
Shall I read it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because, I mean, Vangelis Marinakis was incensed at pitch side, and at one point, Costa and I, we mentioned it in the commentary that we thought he was going to call the team off. So
I thought he was too. I also, did he get the yellow card? Who got the yellow card?
Carapapas, I think, which I didn't even know.
Like, can the owner and Carapapas get yellow cards? Like,
I didn't even know you can do that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they're not
the announcement.
in the team. But anyway, go on. Yes.
We thank the world of Olympiacos for the way they reacted to yet another blatant tampering of an Olympiacos game and the championship as a whole, and protected the team. Our world did not react in disgust at what we saw happening once again. Referees on
our world, you mean our fans?
I guess so. Yeah, probably because I'm reading I'm reading it with a translation. Referees on the grass and the VAR who surgically control phases to do injustice to Olympiacos and favor its opponents. This time they discovered offsides, fouls that didn't exist, cards that were given away. Next time they will find something else. Now all of Greece knows what has happened. We will continue with a bitter smile to give everything until the last match. Our players, our world, so that's our fans, all together, one fist. We are Olympiakos Σύλλογος Φιλάθλων Πυρός, and we were born winners. That's a PS, I think.
Yeah, wait for the PS, baby. The PS is good. Here we go.
This championship is one of the most corrupt and depraved championships of all time, and everyone knows it except maybe the Greek government. Oh.
It's a nice. It was a nice little piece there at the end, huh? I love the PS. You think PS like love you, hope you're well. Like PS, fuck the Greek government. So yeah, elections coming, but anyway.
That one kills me.
Yeah.
So sorry to you obviously talked about the offside, but so basically the whole idea is that El Arabi was offside, and even though he didn't even touch the ball because his presence didn't allow the Panathinaikos player to jump to
yeah, like it impacted how the Panathinaikos. I think the argument is because he impacted how the Panathinaikos player would have gone to the ball. Like let's say he wouldn't, like he's basically, if he wasn't there, then they would have cleared it fine, essentially, which I understand. I need to look back at it, but I think that makes sense. So
I think that's the yeah.
So what do we say here? Was it offside or not? What's the consensus?
I want to say it was offside. It was brutal. It's one of those where you're like, isn't VAR just for clear and obvious? Because the Panathinaikos players didn't care. The whole stadium didn't care. It's one of those where it's like, how can you ruin such a moment where like even the fans of the other team and players of the other team, because they didn't protest shit like until something realized, so it was just it's brutal. VAR in those moments at the end of the game, goals just ruin football sometimes because it's just like fuck, it's
the Premier League gave Rashford the goal. That's all I'm saying. So
that's true. Yeah, I saw that as well. A couple of people tweeted that.
That's all I'm saying. There is a really quick topic I think that I want to address here because I think this is a good point of discussion. This is from Red Hippo G7. Let's forget about touches and discuss transition defense. With both fullbacks, Ramon and Rodinei, playing as wingers, who is going to cut off any counterattacks? Oleg is a necessity currently.
Honestly, I mean, I want to ask the friends. What did Oleg do in the first half? He got targeted every time.
Yeah.
Every time they won the ball and went in transition, what did they do? They looked, let's go to the right. Switch it over to Oleg's side. And Oleg, he was backing off. He was backing off as well. He wasn't going to challenge. He was just backing off. He's burnt, man. Like I remember what he was like when he first joined. He was a motor up and down the wing. Like
he doesn't even have that anymore. Like he doesn't even like. It seems like he's slower now too.
Mate, I swear I saw it on the pitch, and I didn't mention it in commentary. But like, he's probably one of the fastest players on the roster. Like when he's bombing up and down the wing. But it just looked like his lungs had shrunk or something. Like he couldn't run at anywhere near the same pace as what I've seen him. Anywhere near, mate.
All I'm going to say before I sign off real quick, and that's regarding Oleg, the data has been clear. Like, okay, you have your belief with how he plays. I'm going to give you guys statistics, okay? Statistics that we've put on our socials. And the left side from the start of the season until now, this has never changed, has always had the weakest offensive contribution in terms of number of attacks, XG, and XG per shot. And then on the flip side, when it comes to attacks against us, has always been the most attacked, the highest XG per attack, and the most XG overall. Now, when we're looking at the number of attacks that are actually happening going forward, the most recent diagram we put up with the threat level that's generated in open play by our left, a third of what is there, even though it has improved since the restart, a third of it is not even from Oleg. It's from Ramon and from when I believe it was Vrusai playing on the left side. So, or sorry, not Vrusai, Marcelo. So a third of the production that is occurring on the left side is not even coming from Oleg. If we're just measuring the stuff that's coming from Oleg, it is that left side is our weak side. And the explanation or the discussion that people like to have, which is, oh, he's better defensively, is also not true, because that's our weakest side also. So as far as I'm concerned, I understand what you are saying, but statistically, it is wrong. Oleg is neither better defensively nor offensively. Therefore, the correct move is to continue with Ramon, because if we're not getting the defensive bit out of Oleg, there's no purpose. There's no point. And I don't mean this as like a negative or an insult to Oleg. I think Oleg himself, I think he is a good player. I just don't know what's happened to him. I think something has happened to him. Maybe he's been running to the ground. I think that's a perfectly reasonable excuse. But right now, he is not what we need. It is not a benefit to us to have him in there versus Ramon, who's been playing very well. I prefer the guy that was in form. I knew that Oleg was going to start, and I'll give it to Michel. I don't know if I would have had the guts to start Ramon in this game, but I sure as hell would have brought Ramon on much sooner than the 81st minute. But that's the last I'm going to be saying about that. You guys enjoy the rest of the show. It was a lovely atmosphere, and bigger and better things to come.
For the record, man of the match, coach's grade. Before you go.
That's going to be tight. It's going to be between Inbom Huang and Yanin Vila for me, because Yanin Vila, all the people say he's so slow, he can't do shit. That guy was fucking everywhere today. Yanin Vila was clearing stuff out.
First half, he was incredible.
Absolutely gigantic.
And just perspective for everybody. Like there were people saying Michel gone, he's got to leave. He lost another derby. I understand how people being upset, but we have to say there has been improvement. Has he lost the game? Has he lost, like, how many games has he lost since the restart? Since he's been here? I know that doesn't mean much. I know we said the same thing about JVS back in the day, but I don't want to see another coaching change for the rest of the season. That's embarrassing. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Coach's grade. So I think I'll stick with Inbom Huang personally. And then my coach's grade, I did not like the starting lineup. Some of the subs, I wish he had made some subs sooner. I'm going to go with a C-. That's me.
No.
All right, we're going to come back to that. Ari, thanks, man.
Thanks, Ari. Guys, I need to bring something up. I'm sorry, but I need to bring something up. I'm watching this moment with the goal, right? So, the argument is if El Arabi is not there, the defender easily heads it away, right?
Or easily, but he's impacted by El Arabi, and that means El Arabi impacted the chance from an illegal position.
Guys, I'm looking at the Panathinaikos player jumping for the ball. He can't reach the ball. Bring El Arabi out of this. You look at a Panathinaikos player who's out of position, jumps for the ball, and doesn't make it. Mm-hmm. Unless he suddenly turns into Cristiano Ronaldo, he's not going to make that ball. No, Costa has been. It's fine.
Yeah,
he's listening though. I think, guys, he's jumping for the ball. The Panathinaikos player, he can't reach it. So if El Arabi wasn't there, he would have missed the ball.
I need to rewatch it. Honestly, like I told all of you guys, the streams tonight, another night for me to say, give me a way to pay 10 euros to watch Olympiacos play, and I will pay. Like, I am so tired of going on these shitty sites to try to watch the game and being unable to watch it. I need to rewatch the chance, because I'm telling you right now, I missed like the goal originally, and then I watched the replay as celebrations were happening because of the shitty streams I had, unfortunately. So I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch the whole game before I have opinion. But from what I understood and what I understand from the rule, as we know with the straight red card thing, Adi caught me on that. I'm not very good at this. I thought it made sense to be offside. I did, but I really need to rewatch it, and I understand why why some people say it's not and why some people say it is. Honestly, I need to rewatch it. But the fact of the matter is, fuck the offside. We should have scored before that. We should have. What I want to talk about is something more interesting than offside, no offside, referee, yes, referee. I want to talk about, can Olympiacos score in derbies? You know, it's been PAOK, AEK, Panathinaikos, 3 straight derbies, no goals. The derby wins, quote unquote, with Aris is what, like 1-0? Like, we're gonna need to score 3 goals on Wednesday. Like, why is Olympiacos struggling so hard to score goals? Is it the striker? Is it the wingback play? It's getting frustrating now. We got to score 3 goals on Wednesday. Like, where are the goals going to come? Bakambu seems able to score against every Lamia and Levadiakos, but he cannot score in the derbies. So, what's going on? Yeah.
But Olympiacos, for the first time, I've seen Olympiacos playing a derby with grit, playing a derby like the best team, playing the derby like the kind of team that could score 3 goals against you. And they never gave up. They kept going and going and going and going. They didn't do that in the previous derbies. They always looked scared. They always looked apprehensive. They always looked like, they reminded me of the old Greek teams going to Europe and with the mentality of, let's not embarrass ourselves. Whereas now they played like champions. I'm not confident. I don't think the title is lost, guys, and second place is probably not going to happen. But they showed something tonight.
Yeah, for next year, maybe for next year. And Canos, I know he missed so many chances, but when you see Canos on the ball in some of the positions he get into, you feel a bit confident. You don't feel like, oh, he's gonna fuck this up like you do with Gary Rodriguez or Masuras. Like, he has some directness about the guy, you know, like he takes the ball and he goes at people. And long term, I think that could be helpful for the team, you know. So personally, I'll hold that from Sergi Canos today. I know the goal. I know he missed a lot of goals, but the guy's also, been through a rough few weeks, rough few months, leaving a club he's been at for 5-6 years. Let's not burn him down like Conrad de la Fuente and Zinkernagel and the others. Like, he's showed some things. Let's try to support him, and maybe on Wednesday he's the guy who scores against AEK. Like, you know what I mean? So
maybe. Guys, do we want to answer this question?
For the transfers?
Is there any point?
Yeah, tonight's not the night for that. Come on, guys. Like,
I'm just gonna. My only answer is it's not who you think it is.
Yeah. Let me look through.
Sorry, Southpaw. I don't mean we don't.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in another. We've talked about it before, but not tonight's not the night. From Aris. There was improvement with Corbett on 2. Michel sucks. We need a manager and director to work with him on transfer. So a lot of people talking about transfers and directors. I don't know. I kind of want to talk about a bit of the football. And again, look at my eyes. DC is agreeing with us tonight. Ba was really good today. And I've been the hardest on Ba. And this is what pisses me off about Ba, is because you see games like tonight and then you see the red card in the 30th minute versus someone else. And it's just brutal, you know? So we've lived a roller coaster before.
We were commenting that during the game, and Costa was asking me, saying, what about Ba? Like, what do you have to say? And it's like, I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it. Like, we all know he's got the ability. It's in his head. Like, sometimes he loses his head. Like, he gets emotional. Like, he loses concentration. And there were, I think there was one moment towards the end of the game where he's passed the ball straight to an opponent, and Costa was tapping me. He was like, there it is. So there's the mistake. But I mean, he was first to the ball. He was playing as a stopper. He was coming high up the field. He was winning the ball. Socrates was sweeping up. Like, they did well, like, in the heart of defense, like holding the line together. I think Socrates and Ba did well. They did well today. It was like, to your point though, I think the whole question of why can't we score, it has a lot to do with the formation for me. Like, in the first half, I expect much more from my front 4, like the striker and 3 behind him. I expect much more. Like, Kostas Fortounis, for me, had a massive opportunity today. Massive opportunity today to to do something. Like, he played in his favourite position. Like James Rodriguez not starting, not available for today. You're thrust in. You got to do something, mate. Okay, yeah, he put the ball through to Bakambu. He had like a shot, I think, in the second half outside the box. He skied it, and just you need to do better. You need to do better. And Pep Biel's been completely wasted on the wing. You're bored of hearing me say it. They're so narrow, Labro. When you see them on the pitch,
you see a lot. I hope you guys, like, when you see it on the pitch, like there in person, you see a lot.
They're so close to each other. You can't pass the ball to somebody that's half a meter away from you.
Yeah.
Like, and then like when you're looking for options to stretch the field, they're all like kind of lateral passes, like some switches, not through. And the players are too bunched together because they're all okay. Canos is an exception, but Canos was playing on the left. He wasn't playing on the right, where he'd stretch the field. He was always kind of coming inside, and he did run directly at the defenders as well and play some crosses with his left foot. But there's no width. Like in basketball, we call it spacing. Like there's no spacing in the attacking third.
Yeah,
and they're all too closely bunched together, and that's hindering the creativity. For this game, I was saying to Costa, it needed Valbuena sooner, and it needed a 4-4-2. Keep Bakambu on the pitch. Give the defender something to think about, because he's somebody that can run through defenders. He's got the pace, and you've got a player like El Arabi that can hold the ball up, bring others into play. We didn't see that in the end, though. But there's just question marks, and everyone's got an opinion. Like, that's my opinion. Everyone else, others have their other opinions. We're probably never going to see Pep Biel play behind the striker this season, unfortunately. But if you ask me what's my solution, and it's easy for me to say, I'm not a coach, I'm a fan sitting on my seat in my kitchen in Athens. But I'd like to see Sergi Canos form a partnership with Rodinei. Give balance down that right wing, because he's a player, Canos, that can attack, that can do the job defensively as well. Create some balance on the right-hand side. There's no chemistry between Rodinei and Pep Biel. You saw there was a couple of moments, Costa, where you saw like Rodinei kind of telling him, like, make a run, I'm going to play it over to you. But it's not. It's not there. It's not there. And left, you bought Bertucci, play him. Play a winger. Play Mario Vrusai. My God. The 10-15 minutes he was on today, it was like...
I called him a waste man. I thought he was done, but he came on and played fucking ball, I hadn't seen it in months. It hasn't been... He was up for it. And he knew it, too. He ripped off the jersey. He was up for it,
Dude, he was so lively. So lively. Spirito. Like, it was really up for it when he came in. I was talking with some journalists and some folks afterwards. We wasted that boy, turning him into a right back. People comment, Vrusai would play anywhere to stay at the club. Play him in his position.
And that finish was tidy too. It was a tough angle. Great finish. If we're gonna talk about the goal, we can talk about Vrusai did excellent. Like, great finish. Great dribble, and he was on the pitch for like a minute. It was
Costa. You remember I was telling you Rodinei's shot when he was through, and I told you should have flashed the ball across goal. That's what he should have done. What Vrusai did, and then he did this side foot pass to the keeper. It's like,
yes, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Rodinei has a brilliant left foot too. I would say, like, the left foot is strong on Rodinei, so. That's a different point, but now a lot of positives coming out of tonight. Like the fans were fantastic for the first. Like, I was telling Adi when we started, it felt like proper pre-COVID derby, big European night, like stadium full, fans with it, team with it, all in one. There were moments there, like in the season. when Martial and I were there in the summer, the stadium was like not full, of course, like summertime, but like the fans were supporting, but it was just like eggshells, like everyone's just like waiting for disaster, or no one's really up for it. It's like, are we gonna get beat 3-0 tonight? Like team shit, like whatever. It seemed like the fans seemed completely up for it. It was like a great environment. I don't know. It just it was great. It was great. So
frustration. It's a very frustrating game, man. Very frustrating.
You just wanted that win to like be like, this is the signature win. It's like the one thing, the result. Like you just want the one result. And you're like, we can build on this, and the fans and the players together and the coach. Like no matter what shit we've gone through, they got the win in the derby, and we're 2 points behind Panathinaikos, and we're let's go. But
like we talked to some people and had exchange with a couple of players, heard some things around the stadium after the game. Like I think you can't imagine there's something in the fan base, the club, like everything around the club, like the staff internally, the players, the fans, they needed this so much. Like, and I mean, the win today, you can really feel it, like in the fan base, how much they wanted that goal, like that win today. And it was a volcanic eruption, the goal, like emotion. Incredible what we witnessed on the goal, like going on around us, bouncing, mate. Everybody was going absolutely mental. You looked around,
proper
like
proper atmosphere.
You feel the tension and frustration of the entire fan base. And we talked to one of the players after the game, and they looked so upset, like drained. And one other person we talked to today, I told him, like, disappointing, like it's just frustration, disappointment. And he said to me, someone from the club now says, it just feels like one of those seasons where whatever we do, it's just not going to go our way.
I was about to.
That's what he said to me, and I think it's bang on. Yeah. But I can't stress enough, like the feeling, a shared feeling of the club staff, the fans, the players. And what I said to one of the players, I said, you've got to keep believing. You proved tonight that you're better than them. You proved against them in Leoforos that you're better than them. Go into the games in the playoffs and beat them.
Yeah.
And another one And another one I spoke to, I said, it's not Panathinaikos that's the front runner. It's AEK.
Yeah.
Panathinaikos, you can beat them. You've shown it twice.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's just like both games with Panathinaikos this year have been so frustrating, because you're so close to having it, and it's just both 90-minute, just yeah.
You felt like, I don't know, going into the game, I was saying, like, you've got to win it. You've got to win today, otherwise it's over. Like, for the league, I feel like they needed that so bad to give them the confidence to go and play AEK on Wednesday, to play AEK before the regular season ends and go into the playoffs with confidence.
Yeah.
Like, they've got to believe it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I keep dilly-dallying with this, like, is it over, etc., etc. As long as it's mathematically open, it's mathematically open for us to win the title.
Yeah. And look, Pauk dropped points again tonight in Yanina. And we saw Ike in Tumba, like, lose their bottle a bit, and like, these are not invincible teams. Like, you're not going Manchester City and Liverpool Premier League times. Like, every single team in this championship race has its weaknesses and can drop points any match day. It's just So it's really hard focusing on Olympiacos and saying the season's done or the race is done, because you just don't know when PAOK is going to lose 2 games on the trot or Ike is going to drop points, and it's open. It's so open, and we have playoffs, and it is going to be, it's going to be a fucking disaster. I think the playoffs, the referees, the environments, it's going to put the year PAOK and Savidis incident to shame. Like, we have seen it, it is coming. You know what I mean? Like, something is crazy is gonna, like, someone's gonna pull the team off the field. I literally thought it was gonna happen tonight. And it's just gonna, when the title is between like 3 or 4 teams, 2 to 3 points, and someone wins it like on the last day or the second to last day. Can you imagine the disaster? It's just, we're living like insane moments this year, I think, in the league. Moments we haven't lived in years, with all 4 teams essentially being there, but
I don't think so. I think Panathinaikos are going to win this. I honestly, like, before the derby, I told Costa, like, something's going to happen tonight. Something's going to be off tonight. I expected a penalty, to be honest with you. And when I saw I was thinking to myself, red card right there. And there was the red card. There was the goal that wasn't allowed. I think Panathinaikos are going to win it. I think it's just there's constantly red cards in their games. They're constantly getting penalties. I think it's going to be Panathinaikos. I also believe it.
I think Panathinaikos has big problems in depth, and I think they were exposed a bit coming out of Christmas in January, and
they did nothing there.
Yeah, no, like, and that's you watch Ike, and they play football. You watch PAOK, and they may be shit and drop points, but like in a derby, beating PAOK is like, you have to kill them. Like, they are up for it. Like, Olympiacos has talented players, but you don't feel sometimes they're gonna die. Like, you feel fucking Augusto, Ingas, and like, these guys are ready to die on the pitch, And maybe they're less talented than the James Rodriguez and the Jan Villa, but sometimes you look at these players of PAOK and Lucescu puts them together, and they will die in derbies. Like, I think going into the playoffs, one of the interesting things is PAOK is shitty against the mediocre teams, but I think they're better against the bigger teams. Like, they're more up for the derby. Yeah, I don't know. The Olympiacos we saw today, and I was telling you guys again, the streams tonight, so bad. I'm just begging next season Cosmote gives us, or Olympiacos, someone gives us the opportunity to pay €5 for a match. Like, let's say I'm away from my TV box or my local home. Like, I can just go on the internet and pay you €5, and it lets me watch the match. Like, I'm begging you, because tonight was so bad, guys. It was really hard to catch the full game. But yeah, no, I don't know. There's signs from tonight, but it's, of course, that goes back to what you said earlier and what some people were talking about at the end of the game. It's just, it doesn't feel like this is the year for Olympiacos. Like, it's just, everything from the start was a mess. Can you really expect them to win the title this year? Like, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, and still they keep fighting. It's not coming. I'm really interested to see some of the advanced stats Adi's going to pull tomorrow morning. It just feels like, yeah, it's not coming. Yeah.
The XG for the game must be close to 3.
Yeah. They had the one chance with Spora where your heart dropped. But other than that, I'm
that
struggling.
was the one.
That was offside.
Oh, was it
Yeah,
offside?
that was before the flag went up, though.
Where he he played it on the ground and it went just by the post. Okay.
Yeah, it just grazed the post, didn't it? Yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay. Yeah. No, so I don't know, guys. You must be dead. Then we're reaching an hour, so maybe we want to do.
Let's
I've got to get on. I'm going to get on a plane in. Well, I'm going to go to the airport in 3 hours.
Okay, so quick turnaround. So I'll wrap up with this, guys. Let's do coaching grade and man of the match. Another disappointing, not even disappointing, like a lot of things tonight I was happy to see. Like when I saw Kariskaki, it remembers the Panathinaikos game I went to almost 7 years now, where you're shoulder to shoulder with people, and like you're hugging people, and like it's craziness and the fear. It really felt like one of those proper derbies, and we've seen so many like cakewalk bullshit derbies, so it was nice to watch that. But on that note, I'm gonna give Michel, honestly, I'm gonna give him a C plus maybe. I think the subs he did were right, but the starting lineup, there were mistakes in it, and some of the subs had to come earlier. But the subs I all agreed with at the point, and the Ba decision worked out really well. So let's say that. And my man of the match actually is either Jan Envia or I thought Fortounis actually did quite well in moments, driving the team forward. The set pieces were dangerous. The one set piece he played into Papastathopoulos, where he had the grazing header, it was such a nonchalant save from Brignoli, but it was a huge save. Like he just the way he approached it was just like, oh, calm, whatever, throw a paw at it, but that was huge. So those Jan and Villa will be my man of the match, but Fortounis was great. It was great. And also, we have a comment from Dionysis thanking you guys for chatting before the great game. Yeah. And as he says, shameless plug the sub and like. Thank you guys, everyone, for your likes and subscriptions. They really help the channel grow. And we're doing great things. As you see, the boys with me today, we're at the stadium and meeting with you all and doing more and more cool stuff for Olympiacos community abroad and in Greece. So
just on that note, we met people that traveled from Los Angeles to come and watch the game. It was crazy. People came from LA to come and watch the game, and they're going back in a couple of days.
And that's to all of that's to all of those people who are like, why aren't you speaking Greek? That's because we don't speak Greek. Because there are fans in fucking Los Angeles that come on over for 2 days to watch Olympiacos.
Yeah. People love this club. Like, people don't realize, some people just do not realize, but this is Olympiacos is a massive club with supporters all over the world. It's just, it's a huge club. It's a huge club, and people play it down. But yeah, it's great that you guys were able to meet people as well. I really enjoyed that in the summer as well with Adi. So yeah, give me your guys' coaching grades and man of the match as well. Let's wrap up.
Go for it.
Man of the match. First half, it's not, it's so clear for me. Jan Villa, the first half that he did, I think there was one misplaced pass, like one crossfield ball that he misplaced that Oleg didn't reach. Otherwise, it was just everywhere. I think, overall, it got difficult for him in the second half because Panathinaikos brought fresh legs on. They brought defenders on. They brought midfielders on. But no, just like the passing and just the authority that he had in the midfield today. You look at the centre of the park, and he's just the best player there, like, on the pitch. So he just does so much. He does so much on the pitch. He won balls. He tackled. Like, he went back to start the build up. Everything, man. It was just immense. And shout out to Usain Ubar as well, who had a really good game. And shout out to this man as well, who gave me his shirt at the end of the game.
So awesome.
Absolute
collector's item.
Legend. You can still see the dirt, like, it's sweaty in my hands here. But like, no. Every time Inbom gets on the ball, something, he's going to do something. Something's going to happen. He's going to try and get the ball forward. He's going to try and play a 1-2. He's going to do something positive. So, enjoy that player while he's there, while he's with us. I think he's got a long contract, but I can see there's going to be clubs coming in for him in the summer, probably. But okay, we don't need to have that discussion now. So Jan Villa, my man of the match. Coach's grades. I'm disappointed. Like, I'm on a C-. I'm even close to a D. D's harsh. Like, C- because what I will give Mitchell is that it was hard to put Ramon at left back. I think it was a hard call, but really I expected that change sooner to give us some more positive energy onto the pitch. I would have liked to see a 4-4-2. I think Bakambu was causing problems, and I think to break that Panathinaikos defense, we needed 2 strikers on the pitch to keep their defenders busy, more occupied, and this this formation thing, it's we've got to stop. 110. It's got to be one number 10 that plays. And wingers, real wingers, have to play. Pep Biel's not a real winger. He's not. That's it. Like that really frustrates me. And that's going to be maybe that's going to be one reason why we don't do as well as we want to do in the playoffs. Because we keep insisting to play him out on the right or out on the left. And that really frustrates me with Mitchell. And I don't know if he's going to change that going into the playoffs. So, I didn't like the timing of his changes, and I didn't like the tactical approach in his changes either today. So C-, and I'm being nice.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you guys. A man of the match, obviously, Jan Villa. The guy was everywhere. The guy was immense. He was the guy that was starting all the attacks from deep in defense. He was everywhere, literally everywhere. He was needing amazing balls throughout the game, opening the game for Olympiacos. I mean, this guy needs to stay, and when he can no longer go, Olympiacos have a major task on their hands trying to replace that immense player. And as for Mitchell, C- as well. I didn't like the formation. He started with a 4-2-2-2. I don't like the fact that there are no wingers. I don't like the fact that it just doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't make sense. He's definitely not the manager for next season. I don't know if he's the manager until the end of the summer. It seems like Olympiacos are going to go with him until the end of the season. Valbuena came on late. The Ramon bet, obviously, that was a gamble. Samaseko, I believe, should have come on at some point because it was obvious Olympiacos were losing the midfield battle, like we were saying during commentary. Costa. So yeah, C- for Mitchell.
Good points, and the chat is having fun because I have this green screen that I got from Peter, and I guess I was turning into a Teletubby as I was looking at my phone. Weird colors. Teletubby Leo Anthropos. This is fantastic. Like, people enjoying themselves. If that I had purple hair at one point, I noticed that as well. If that's what the people enjoy, that's how it goes.
There was a good comment from Yorgos, I think, about Biel looking better on the left-hand side. Yeah. Even still, man, I'm fed up. Like, I'm fed up of seeing him out of position.
The player knows it too. I bet you. Like, the player also probably is like, "Fuck me, I just want to play behind Bakambu and just bang goals." You know, that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. On that note, guys, it's been a bit of a tough night, but you know that's how it goes. We go again Wednesday. Is that correct? Wednesday night with Ike. I'm gonna be driving, so I'm not gonna catch the game. I'm gonna listen on the radio. So, what time is the game? 10:30 Greek. We know.
I actually don't know.
Okay, let me. Does anyone?
8 o'clock Greek time. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Greek time. Okay, so yeah. What do we expect from there? And I guess we'll leave it at that. Like, what we need goals. We've had 2 goals scored.
I don't expect anything.
So, what do you want to see? You want to see something new? You want to see the same lineup? You want to see Zolakis? Like, anyway, give me your one quick thing, and then we'll finish up for Wednesday.
I don't know, man.
You can't even think about it.
I'm kind of.
We'll do a preview pod as well.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, let's just do a preview pod, guys. I'm
I know how it is after the game. Yeah, it's killer. All right, guys. Oh, also, Dionys is asking, are we gonna have a match day vlog out this?
Give me some time to work on it on the
Okay.
plane.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
guys.
We'll see. Keep your eyes
We got
out,
some
everyone.
footage. We got some footage.
We got some
Yeah.
footage. And on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, hope you guys are all doing well, staying healthy, being well. It's great catching up as always. Have a fantastic night.